Greetings everyone. In this recording I'll be covering the topic of energy flow and Chinese or Oriental medicine, exploring how our qi, our life force, functions and how it's understood to take on different qualities or different states and how that affects our health. In Chinese medicine and Oriental philosophy, there is the concept of life force, which is given the name qi or qi. That life force is understood to come from a unified source. You could call that God or the divine. So everyone is in a sense an extension of that original or that prime life force, and the energy from that source is flowing through each of us as we have this human embodiment. As we have this life on earth here, that energy can function in different ways. It can take on different qualities or be in different states, we could say. In Chinese medicine, this energy is examined in terms of it being in a yin or yang state of flow. It's also examined in terms of the 5 elements system, so earth, air, fire, water, etc. Now, if we look at this basic idea of yin and yang, we're looking at a masculine or a feminine expression of energy flow. Masculine is active. It's associated with heat, with fire. And feminine is passive. It's associated with coolness and with water. For our health, it's important to exist in a state of relative balance. If we go too much to one extreme or another, that could be a sign of some ill health or some major imbalance in our being. As a human organism, it's necessary to maintain sort of a dynamic balance, to constantly be able to handle whatever's going on in your environment and maintain a certain degree of equilibrium. When we encounter different stresses and challenges in our lives, whether those are external biochemical types of challenges or psychological stresses, we have ways of reacting or coping with those challenges that are naturally designed to help us maintain our equilibrium, to help us survive and have our well-being. Often, though, when we react or respond to a situation in a way that would seem desirable for the short term, if we continue that reaction or response chronically over a long period of time, it will lead to some form of ill health or illness. In energy healing, using modalities such as Reiki, we're not really focusing on yin or yang aspects of energy. We're not examining the 5 elements. We're trusting that higher intelligence, that divine source, as it flows through us with this energy to assist the person receiving the energy in whatever manner will most benefit them, in whatever way they are ready to receive that energy. In considering the idea of excess or deficient yin and yang qualities of energy, it's helpful to consider the metaphor of a river, a stream or current of energy. Now, if we see a river of water, we think of it as flowing smoothly or having some type of agitation to that flow or current. So there may be some boulders, some rocks there in the middle of that stream that are causing the water to become rapid in one area perhaps, or maybe stagnant in another area. So those boulders in that metaphor are there interrupting, disturbing this flow of energy, or the flow of water in the case of the river. In our human lives, our chi, our life energy, often gets disturbed in a similar sense by the different stresses and challenges that we deal with. So if we have a major trauma, that's kind of like dropping a big rock or boulder in our life energy. It may cause us to withdraw from life. Therefore, our energy in that context could become stagnant. It could be excessively yin, where we become overly passive. We're not fully engaging in life. We're not using our creative energy or our passion enough. On the other hand, we may become overreactive to something in our life where we have a lot of anger, a lot of agitation built up, where we've gone into that fight or flight type mode where our adrenaline's on overdrive and it's not slowing down. So there we might be perceived as more on the manic side rather than on the low energy or depressed side. And there would be an excess of the yang type energy where we're overactive rather than over passive. Now, regardless of which of those polarized extremes we've become stuck in, if we're able to release, to remove that boulder, that trauma that's stuck there, then we're enabling that current, that flow of energy to be restored to its normal course, to its more balanced flow. This is, in a sense, how energy healing tends to work. You don't really need to know which pattern of imbalance, which yin or yang type of pattern has developed in the person you're working with. This high-frequency spiritual energy that's coming through will naturally help release whatever pattern of density or resistance is built up in that person's energy, and in that process the more natural, balanced flow would be restored. Therefore, it doesn't take a lot of intellectual knowledge to be a spiritual healing or spiritual energy healing practitioner. What it does take is the willingness to trust in this divine energy, to surrender oneself to that flow, to allow that energy to come through you as you are a conduit, and to let the person receiving that energy use it in whatever way serves their greater good. You're not attached to the outcome. You are just a willing servant of that divine intelligence, of the natural desire for that spiritual energy to promote harmony. For those that are interested in learning more about spiritual energy healing, about holistic health and well-being, I invite and encourage you to read more on these subjects, to watch more videos, and to explore and practice things on your own, to become tuned into your own energy flow, perhaps noticing where you carry some type of trauma or resistance in your own energy field, and to use different tools or methods of helping release that, whether it's some type of energy healing like Reiki, or some form of breath work, of sound therapy. It may be using some type of psychotherapy, some type of hypnotherapy, perhaps a meditative practice to tune into your higher consciousness and allow your higher self to guide you, to help you let go of any distressing thought patterns or emotions and bring yourself more into a state of peace, more in harmony with that divine presence that wants to flow freely and effortlessly. I appreciate each of you for taking this portion of your time to watch this video. I would like to wish everyone a wonderful day. Namaste. For those who would like to learn more, you can visit my website at www.phinsights.com.